Kim with Mom's Creative Moments. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to do a layout just in time for Valentine's Day. And this is going to be one of my new BIE videos. It's a beginner project recipe that I'm also stretching into showing you how to make it an intermediate level layout as well as an experienced level layout. So a BIE. And I'm super excited to do this for you today, so I hope you like it. Let's check out my workspace and get started.
All right, welcome to my workspace for today. This is the beginner project recipe for quarter number 1 of 2024. And I'm starting at kind of a new way of showing these to you, and I actually may go back and redo the ones from last year in this new format because I'm really excited about it. We'll see how it goes and what I have time for. But Creative Memories has been coming out recently, within the last year or so, with, with simplified layouts, and they're designed to help those who are just learning how to scrapbook be able to create some beautiful layouts. So along with our simple page kits that are coming out every month this year, these will come out every quarter, and they are the introduction to being able to do a project recipe. Each one of our collections, when a new collection of paper and stickers and embellishments and borders come out, a new project recipe is designed for each one of them. And so this particular project recipe is actually not designed for any specific paper. This is designed so you can use it with any paper you have available, and it will go beautifully with anything that you want. And I'm actually going to show you today how to go from this beginner project recipe into a more intermediate level, into a more experienced or advanced level. So that's my goal for today. I'm using some paper that Creative Memories came out with back in 2021, so just a couple of years ago, called Shabby Chic Rose. You can see it's a really nice paper pack and very appropriate for this time of year with Valentine's Day looming on the horizon for us. And so I chose some papers from this paper pack to use. Basically, you need 2 pieces that are going to be your base pages, and so I'm going to use these cute red gingham pages as my 2 base pages. We're going to flip one of them over to use the wood side. As you can see in our sample, they've got 2 different pages as their base pages. These pages that you can see right on the edge are the base pages that are involved in this layout. So we're going to use this page as the page on the right, and the gingham as our page on the left, and then we're going to use this sweet page with printed roses on it, which are kind of hard for you to see. That's a little bit better on the video. So we're going to use this page with the roses. On the back is a smaller print of roses on it, which I thought would be just really, really pretty. And we are going to, the only page we're going to cut is this one with the roses. So with our project recipes, you'll remember you get a photograph of a finished 2-page layout, and then you get what we call a sketch. The sketch is done on using grayscale, so everything that is the dark color that you see here is a photograph. Okay, and then everything that you see in this shade of gray is the same piece of paper, and everything you see in this shade of gray is the same piece of paper. And so, and they are labeled with the alphabet to correspond with the cutting guide that is on page 2. And so the cutting guide tells us exactly what the measurements are and what we need to cut, and which portions may or may not be flipped over to reveal the the pattern on the back. And then they're also labeled with the corresponding alphabet letter so that you know exactly where they go on the layout. Okay, then there are instructions over here, step by step, that will walk you through it. I'm going to walk you through it today, so you don't need to worry about these. But anyway, that is our project recipe and the way that they are broken down. I'm going to get my Creative Memories trimmer, and we're going to take this piece right here on top with the roses, and we're going to go ahead and cut it according to our cutting guide here. So we are going to cut a piece that is 3 inches. So I'm going to line this up using the shoulder at the top of my trimmer to keep my paper straight. I'm going to use the grid lines that go down the vertically on my trimmer and follow that 3-inch guideline so that my paper stays straight, and go ahead and push down and slide my blade. So there's my 3-inch strip. Now I've got a 9-inch strip and a 3-inch or 9-inch piece, 9 by 12 and 3 by 12. I'm going to take my 3 by 12 inch piece, I'm going to turn it horizontally, and I'm going to cut a 3-inch square off the top. So lining it up so that it is against this shoulder at the top and right up here to my 3-inch grid line. So there's one, and I'm going to turn it slightly so that the pattern is going in the right direction, just because I'm weird that way. I'm going to move my arm out so I can measure, or I used to have a little tab that I created for my trimmer so that I could see where 6 inches was located, but I accidentally lost that the other day, so I don't have that anymore. So turning these so that they are going the right direction. Now I'm going to take my 9 by 12 inch piece, turn that horizontally, and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to cut this at 3 inches. So up against my shoulder at the top, down the 3-inch line on my grid. Okay, so there's that piece. Then we're going to cut a 6-inch piece, and that will leave us with another 3-inch piece for the bottom. Okay, now those are the only cuts we need to make for this introductory level layout. And I'm going to go ahead and move my instructions. Give me 1 second while I move all of this a little bit more into frame. Okay, we're going to put the project recipe up there so we can reference it. But for right now, what we're going to do is going to work on this side right here, the red gingham side. Going to take my 3 by 3 inch square, the one that goes here at the bottom, and first of all, we need to decide whether we want to flip over this one in the center and make it look like that. And then this one on this side will be something like this. Or if we would rather have the center be red and the top and bottom be the small roses. Like so. Well, that's kind of hard to decide, isn't it? I think I'm going to go with this. So here's my thought. If you look at the sample, you can see that this center part they're using a darker paper on and a lighter on the edges. It focuses your eyes into the center of the page, which is where we want them to be. And so I'm going to go with my red in the center. That's my reasoning for that. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and adhere these pieces where they go. Actually, so that you can get an idea of what this would look like, I'm going to go ahead and place some photos on here. My fingers are not grabbing the paper very well today. You can tell it's dry here where I am. Okay, so these pieces will go like this, and like this. Then we're going to have I'm glad that I'm consulting my pattern because I was not doing this correctly. So I'm just showing you what it would look like with the photos on here. You're going to put your photos edge to edge so there's nothing showing in between them, which is kind of unusual. And you can see how if your photos are not accurately cut, you can see the edge of the paper. So I would just go ahead and put your photos on here as evenly as possible so you can see a little bit of the paper on top, a little of the paper on the bottom. Okay, so here we've got our photos, and I'm actually going to just adhere these with a little bit of repositionable adhesive so they're not sliding all over. Because as we do some different revisions to this layout, I don't want to have to keep repositioning the photos. So photos are edge to edge. And these are just some sample photos that I have that I'm using. Edge to edge, and the edge of these go all the way along the edge of the paper on this side. Okay, edge to edge like so. Then these pieces, a little bit of repositionable adhesive just because I know that I'm going to want to adjust them depending on what we decide to do when we ramp this up just a little. Okay. All right, so here is the basic layout for this page, and then we will get an embellishment or two out. Give me just a second here. Let's go ahead and adhere the paper to this side. Okay. My paper is going off the edge. Okay, there we go. That works better. All right, so once you get this on here, there's very little left to do. I pushing it down and it keeps shifting. This doesn't happen when you're actually adhering it down. It shifts a lot less. Okay, so there's that. We've got a couple more photos that we want to add to this side, and we're going to add them showing just a little bit of our papers underneath, but putting the top and bottom edges of the photo together. Okay, so just like that. And you can see how it makes it look like this paper is continuing across, especially if my photos were the proper size, but they're a little short. All right. Now what we would need is some embellishments to just kind of create a little bit of interest in the corners. And when you put embellishments on something like this, you typically are going to have your embellishments located in such a way that you're controlling the eye of the observer. So your eye starts in one corner and kind of progresses across the page to see everything. Now, in this, we also have a little area that they're using a matte card. So we can use a matte card and put in this corner up here. All right, so here is a matte card that I just pulled from Sparks of Magic because I happen to have it handy. And we can put this matte card over here where it indicates we should include something to journal. All right, so that kind of goes off the edge just a little bit, but that's okay. And then we can move our hearts up just a little like that so that they show up better. Okay, so that layout, as we look at it there, with a little journaling in here, would be just fine. It looks great, and it follows our project recipe, and it looks fantastic. So if this is the level that you're at, awesome. You can do an awesome job and use any paper you want and make this look fantastic. However, if you would like to make it look a little bit different, you can kick it up another notch. And we can do that by jumping up to a different level. And it's simpler than you might think, because really all we would need to do is maybe grab our corner rounder. And if we take our corner rounder and we come in here and we use our corner rounder and round the corners of the matte card. Put that back. Maybe we round the corners of our photos, or at least the outside edges of our photos. And I wouldn't do these two that are in the center, but you could actually do these photos over here on the edge. And then what I would do, so we'll do that outer edge. We'll do this outer edge down here of these photos. And then what I would do is I would scoot this in so that it is underneath that curve. scoot this in. So like that. And scoot this in. Okay. Another thing we could do is we could come in and we could add, see how that changes the look of that layout just a little bit more. It just dresses it up just a little bit. We could come in here with some paper and do a quick mat around these photos. So let's see. If you're going to mat something on the page like that, you would want to try to pull a color that is in the paper that you're already using. So I'm using a red, a couple different shades of red. There's a green in the rosebud print. We've got black. We've got white. I don't think I would use white because we have a lot of white on here already, but black would certainly work. Let's try that. So we're just going to take these two photos and add them on here. It doesn't have to be a huge mat. It can be actually very, very small. And it actually looks really nice and adds a little bit more dimension to your photos this way. So we're just going to trim off an equal edge here and here. Okay. And then put this right back where it was. Maybe tiny bit closer, since now we have a little bit of an edge to our photos. We're going to put that back right there. And we could add something to this side that was black, but I don't think I'm going to just now. It actually probably would look really nice though, come to think of it, if we just did a straight line. I'm just going to cut a quarter of an inch. Quarter of an inch is the very edge of your gray cutting mat on your Creative Memories trimmer. All right, so there's my quarter of an inch of black, so that we can carry a little bit more black onto this other side. And I'm just going to adhere this right up the outside edge of our design. Okay, you see how it's coming together? It's dressing it up just a little bit more. And this looks great, just like this, with our journaling that we would add over here. But we can also kick this up another notch, and we can add a few other things. We can add some flowers. Let's see. These are just some embellishments that were extra on another project that I did, that I pulled out for this. we can add a flower. Let's see, we can add the flower with the leaf and the hearts together. These hearts actually are from just remnants of something that I cut on my Cricut, and I just saved them. So if we kind of set those up a little higher with the flower, and then we can add snapshots, little snapshots, and then we can add our other flower in here underneath these guys. He doesn't show up super well on red because he's red himself, so we could stick him up there a little bit. Still have our hearts kind of together like so, and put loving our life together off the side like that, which just dresses it up a little bit more. You could have and maybe these photos don't really go with all of this, but that's okay. You could introduce another color in that you're adding pink. So adding another color would allow you to then go back and add maybe a pink frame around these photos instead. You could add love down here, which is super cute. We've got you and me, but because it's white, it won't show up on the white right here, so that one's not going to work too well. But the other does work well, I think. So I would leave it like that. That would be my recommendation for the experienced level. So do you see how you can go from a very basic beginner project recipe, which looks beautiful on its own, and then just ramp it up just a little bit more, maybe ramp it up just a little bit more, and then you end up with something that looks like this. Perfect. And we could actually even do another strip of black paper here on this side, which actually I think that would actually look really nice. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So that we can see what that would look like. Just for symmetry, I think it would add a lot. So underneath here, underneath here, come on, lift up. So just like that. I like that a lot, actually. So let me know what you think about that. I think that turned out really well, and I'm excited to use that in my album. Of course, I'll probably take these photos and swap them out for something else, but I could leave these photos of my sweetheart in here, leave the photos of two of my children, and then add some photos of my other two children. That would be cute.
anyways.
Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope this has been helpful for you. And until next time, I hope you have many more creative moments. You have a beautiful Valentine's Day. And I'll see you next time. Take care.